from what I understand, there's been some news on the Genie Plus thing too.
So this system sets up for the other systems going forward here. And that brings us to what's happened here. So we'll go back to the screen here. And
Do it.
so we got some big announcements. One is Disneyland Resort. Now, to preface all this, folks, we heard that, we were told that by Walt Disney World's 50th, Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, and individual attraction selections, these systems coming online, will be in place by that time. Well, obviously that that didn't quite happen. Some things may have changed, and honestly, what we're kind of thinking is a combination of two things, potentially. One is the backlash from Genie was pretty severe. And perhaps that got them to kind of second guess or kind of rethink what they were going to do with Genie and Genie Plus going forward. That is a possibility. Another thing is I'm getting word that maybe Disneyland Paris may have adjusted its individual attraction pricing. And maybe lower the prices because maybe it wasn't as successful as they thought. And that might be why some of the numbers coming out as part of this announcement that Genie and Genie Plus is going to be coming out on October 19th. Maybe those prices and what we're seeing, maybe that's why they were a little bit lower than maybe expected.
From what I understand, like some of these, like the a la carte attractions were like anywhere between, and correct me if I'm wrong, but anywhere between like $7 and $15.
Yes.
That's pretty cheap. And you're right. It's probably because they weren't seeing the numbers they wanted in Paris. Again, and that comes down to what we've been saying all along. Vote with your wallet. It makes the biggest difference. If you don't buy into something you don't like, they'll make adjustments. Going on Twitter and screaming and yelling and then buying everything doesn't do anything.
No.
You have to vote with your wallet. If you don't like something, don't buy it. That's how they react. Especially a guy like JPEG who is data driven.
Right, exactly. I'm not saying that they won't change a couple of things if people really have some criticism about it, but the best way, the most efficient way to get them to change, like you said, OG, and like we've said on this show multiple times, vote with your wallet. So as we see here, this is quite interesting. So essentially, it's essentially paid fast pass, so like a max pass type system with the ability to purchase two attractions that are left out of the system for an additional fee. And honestly, with this graph and everything, it's a little bit more, it's a little bit simpler to figure out than maybe we had previously anticipated. And honestly, doesn't sound maybe as bad as we anticipated either.
Yeah, it doesn't. And here's the thing. Look, when Disney Plus launched, Bob Iger's thing was basically getting as many subscribers as possible, build up a subscriber base. So what did he do? He started the subscription, the monthly fee was very low. I think it was like $6 or $7, very cheap compared to Netflix. And that was by design to make sure that a lot of people signed on to it and built up that subscriber base. So then once you're on it and you're hooked, then they can start raising it. Right. And that's kind of what this reminds me of. Let's get people into it. Let's get people loving it. So we'll start with the low pricing, get people hooked and hooked on the convenience. Right. And then when they're hooked, that's when you start going up.
Yeah. There is, yes, but there is potential here, right? The thing about the Fast Pass service, we've never had a lull in the Fast Pass service on a park-wide level since it was introduced back in the 90s.
Right.
This was the first time we actually got a taste of what the parks were like without a Fast Pass. And I know for locals, especially for like at Disneyland, they dig it because you don't have to split up an attractions queue like you did before. And those rides run as efficiently as they can. Because everybody's just going standby. You don't have to cut it up. You don't have to have all 50% of that ride's queue or more, and in the pathways and stuff like that, and it makes the whole operation flow a little bit better. The one thing I say about this, the one thing I really like about this is it has the potential to be kind of this middle ground between no fast pass and fast pass. And what I mean by that is, the indie effect like we were talking about, part of that is just the ease of getting into that system. And that's what we saw with fast pass, right? Because it was free and because it was fairly easily accessible, people could just jump on and away you go. In this way, because you're having to pay for it, that could potentially, at least for Disneyland especially, that could prevent people from using it, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a total barrier of entry. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, when you have a free, like a free system, like a fast pass, right? Why not use it, right? So everyone is going to use it. But when you have to pay for something, even if it's just $3, $4, $5,
in this case, 20, 15, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. You're creating that barrier. A lot of people are not, there are going to be at least a percentage of people that are not going to be willing to do that. No, we don't need that. We'll just wait in line. I don't want to pay $15 to get on Rise of Resistance. I'll wait in line. Thank you. And that's what you're going to have. So yeah, you're going to have less people in the system because it's not free anymore. So that's a great point, Dre. That's a fantastic point.
And some people are kind of miffed that the Magic Keys didn't include this system, as part of their tier ticket. But that goes to our point. The less people that are on it, the less people that are actually using it. And maybe as a result, the more efficient that these attractions can run without those kind of splits that you would have to do with a fast pass type system. So potentially, there's a lot of upside here.